They be like, "Who is you?" Oh, that's sweet. What's going on, everybody? But I'm not talking to everybody tonight. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to everybody tonight. I am talking to you. You and you only. Now, I want to kind of focus on what it means to actually have a trust, the power of a trust. And you're going to hear me like stressing it and stressing it and stressing it and stressing it solely because I really want you to understand what is happening. And the moment that we understand what is happening with a trust, that's the moment that, you know, everything everything pretty much changes. Now, I'm not gonna focus on the mechanics of a trust right now. I just want to focus on if you don't have a trust and for you to understand what you can actually do when you start putting your entire life into a trust. Because we go day by day, just vicariously, just day by day. We starting up businesses, we're signing up to utility companies, we getting credit cards, we getting cars, we getting all these things, and it's like you're not getting nothing in return. It's like you're not getting anything in return. It has to stop. At one point in our lifetime, we have to like really focus on what is right and what is wrong. What can be done about a situation and what can't be done about a situation. So if your situation can change, I'm not saying that you have a situation to where you're in any type of imminent danger. I'm not saying anything like that, but what I'm saying is that if you have a trust and all the money that you putting into your bank account and banks don't hold and trust don't hold debt, you can get it back. And in many cases, some cases, you can get it back times 10. You can barter it. And it's starting to be like a viral sensation. Like it's starting to be very viral. Like people starting to be able to, oh, how you get your credits? How you do your credits? I want to know how to do my credits. Like what's going on with the credits? What we gotta first understand what is credits. What is happening with credits? First off, credits is when you take your money to an institution and you are paying into the treasury, you are exchanging your dollar for credits. That's all. That's all that's happening. When you make your bank deposit, you are exchanging your physical cash for credit. Now, so when when that term hits, I don't want you to think of it in a way of a credit card. I want you to think of it in a way of let's just say whatever name of your company. We're just gonna say the name of your company is Sunshine Real Estate, and I want to go and do business with Sunshine Real Estate. So I go and give Sunshine Real Estate $10,000. 10,000 Sunshine Real Estate go and give me Sunshine Bucks. But these Sunshine Bucks can be used everywhere. But when I'm finished using up the Sunshine Bucks, what did Sunshine go and do with my real money? Oh, they went and invested it and went and used it to do more loans and get more credit. So you got to ask yourself, well, damn, well, hold on, let's wait. If that happened, and that mean I gave Sunshine a loan. Yeah, that mean you gave them a loan. So what happened to that original, the original deposit that you gave them? What happened to it? What happened to the original dollar that you gave Sunshine? Well, it's in reserves. And whenever you don't contest to come and get it back, it go back to the IMF, International Monetary Fund. But if you have a trust and you go get you a non-interest bearing account, if you're getting non-interest, if your account is non-interest bearing, that means that you have real tangible assets in the account because you're not giving the institution a loan. You're just parking your funds there. You're not lending it any of it. You're just parking it there. And then you want to ask yourself, well, then hold on, let's wait a minute. Let's back up a minute, right? Let's back up a minute. Because if I'm parking my funds there, what is different than me going to go and make a bank deposit and they're using the money and I'm still able to use it, day in, day out? What's the difference? The difference is your funds is looked at as real FRN dollars that can be actually bartered with at your own will. Not if you have to ask the institution for a loan, you don't have to, oh, well, yes, sir. Can I get a loan to go get this $500,000 house? Oh, can I get a loan, sir, to get this $30,000? I'm trying to get some startup money. Can I get $40,000, sir? This is you. I'm you going to the institution. And the funny thing is, you got all this bread in the bank, and you don't know about the two accounts that you have. They disguise them. They got different names. On one, it's what's going on, George? On one instance, you got double book entry. On another instance, you have a restricted ledger. Another name for this account is accounts payable. Another name for the account is the IMF, individual master file account. Another name for the account is deposit demand deposit. So they have all these different names for these accounts, but they technically do the exact same thing. And most of the time, we don't care. Man, we just want to make the deposit, go and do the transfer, pay the bill what we had to pay, and be out. Like we ain't here for all this restricted ledger double book entry. I don't care about none of that. But actually, you need to. Actually, you very much so need to. Because while you're out here doing all the bull, it's somebody else handling the real business on your behalf instead of you. Because it doesn't matter if you deposit $1,000, 10,000, 100,000. If somebody else is flipping your bread for you. If you made a deposit into an institution, whatever amount you put in there, you are buying government securities. That's it. So what happens is you're making a deposit. Your custodian is taking your deposit, which is the bank, whoever you use. They'll go into the Federal Reserve like, hey, I got a new dummy. Let me swap this dummy cash out for no, I got a new real person. Let me get some of that dummy cash you got over there. And we're gonna call it credit liability. And we're gonna go and swap it out for this right here because it's just a customer deposit. That's it. I can't show the people on TikTok, but I can show the people on YouTube and Instagram. Hold tight. I can show the people on YouTube and Instagram. Instagrams. I can show the people over here for sure. I can show you all, and it's laid out so smooth. You know, if people that's on TikTok, if y'all want to see what I'm doing, y'all will have to go to YouTube or Instagram right now because for some reason I can't. It won't link to TikTok. They got all this TikTok studio string key and all. I don't feel like reading all that. That's not what I'm on right now. Right now, I'm trying to let you all know just basic mechanics of your deposit. And I want y'all to win. Promise you I do. I want you to win. And like I said before, I said a speech and I was like, this is not about you getting over on your oppressors and they've been taking your money from you for years and we gotta fight the man and all this ain't got nothing to do with that. We just talking about accounting. That's it. All these credit bureaus and they're saying this and that they're not on this though. Nothing is more powerful than this because when you understand this, then you understand that you are the credit. There's no way in hell that someone can tell you what you can and can't do, regardless of a social score, regardless of if you got an 860 or 450. None of that matters. None of that matters. None of it matters. None of that matters. Your social score does not matter at all. What matters is what happened to your deposit. What matters is what happened to your deposit. So you get to thinking, well, I got to thinking. I was like, well, if I gave the institution my deposit, well, why can't I get my deposit back? Why can't I do the same thing that they're doing? Because it's not yours anymore. You gave them a loan. And within that loan, they are free to do whatever they want with it. They are free to do whatever they want with it once it is deposited into their trust beneficiary account. Now you want to ask yourself, well, now, well, hold on, wait a minute. Trust deposit beneficiary account. Where did you get this from? How did you come up with trust deposit beneficiary account? Because if you didn't create it, if you're not managing, then you're just a beneficiary, hands down. And the benefit is you're free to use the account how you wish daily. Well, then you want to say, well, how can I put myself in a better position to really exercise my rights on my physical cash because my physical cash means that means that everything is starting with me. Yes, everything starts with you. Everything starts with your account. If you deposit $30,000 in your account, you are entitled to $300,000 flat out. Period. Is no other way around it. But the only way that you're able to do this is if you're in a trust. The vehicle itself, you have to have a special purpose vehicle to facilitate this deal because you can have a debt, trust can't have a debt. You can't have certain credits because you're not at the right capacity to get credits. Now you can pay into the IRS and then you receive your W-2 at the end of the year and then you happy you go you put little Ray them on there and get extra 5,000. You go find cashier and put an extra 5,000. You go put these different kids on your W-2 to squeeze out extra bread. And the thing is that's fine by them because you're not understanding the real money mechanics of what's actually happening. Whatever you earn during the time of you having your job for that year, you can barter it times 10 because you made a incoming deposit into your account. Now, what should have happened is if you made a deposit into, you have a trust set up and you make a deposit into your trust account. Now you can do it without all of the extra riffraff because it's straight interfacing. So if you got a trust account and you have account just housed here at BOA, we're just going to use BOA for this example. If you have a trust account housed here at BOA, and you're making deposits into your trust account, we're just gonna say for typical for a week. I forgot how much people get paid weekly. What is it? 5,000 now? 8,000 a week or something like that. I don't. I forgot. I don't. I haven't worked in a while. But let's just say that you made 5,000 a week, and you are depositing your 5 grand, and you're depositing your 5 grand into your account. Now, what happens to your 5,000? It gets sent off to here, U.S. government securities. When a Federal Reserve Bank purchases government securities, bank reserve increases. This happens because the seller of the securities receives payment through a credit to a designated deposit account at the bank, which the Federal Reserve effects by creating the reserve account of Bank A. So what's happening is the Federal Reserve is creating the reserve account for you, but you're just the beneficiary of this account. It's like you have a big brother for you that's doing all your deal. Like, shut the hell up. Don't say nothing. We're going to handle this for you. We're going to handle this for you. Okay. We're going to handle this for you. Don't focus on anything serious. I want to keep you in the silly mode. I want to keep you in the club. I want to keep you worried about popping bottles. I want to keep you worried about riding clean. I want to keep you worried about being in designer. I want to keep you worried about all the bull. Don't focus on this. Let us deal with this. And I want you to not we giving you we sharing our water fountain with you now. Damn, what else you want? You're not sitting in the back of the bus no more. What else you want? We integrated the schools. Y'all said y'all want to end segregation. What else do you want? Because when you start worrying about this part of it, none of that other bull matters. I sit in the back of the bus every day, opposed to understanding about the real modern money mechanics, and they allow me to do 10% of my deposit. I wouldn't care about drinking out of a water fountain that says whites only. Teach me, teach me about modern money mechanics. Give me a trust. That's all I care about. And it's a movie out with Samuel L. Jackson called The Bankers. This is no promo. He didn't pay me to go and do this. I don't know this nigga. But the movie that they got is called The Bankers. And what they was doing is they created a bank. They was basically I promise you all need to go and look at that movie. It's called The Bankers with Samuel L. Jackson and the black dude who played he played Free World on 8 Mile and he played in the Avengers. I forget his name. What's his name, y'all? What's buddy name? What's his name? I forget his name. What's his name, y'all? Well, anyway, it don't matter. The name of them don't matter. What matters is that they was able to get a bank. Now, when they was able to get this bank, the crazy thing was is that they couldn't facilitate any of the deals themselves because the color of their skin. Never mind how smart they were, never mind how clever they were, never mind how much money they had. They couldn't facilitate any of the deals themselves but by the color of their skin. But the fact is that they was able to get a bank, right? And them opening up that bank, it seemed almost overly easy. That's because it is. The movie had a secret message in it to let you know all you need to do is operate in the trust and you can be your own bank. Fuck credit. Credit don't mean nothing. Okay, yes, you can go and use credit to go get a car. Whoop de do. Whoop de fucking do. You still a slave to the dealer because you don't understand what's happened with the securities that the actual order purchased. Oh, you can go and use credit to go get a house. Whoop de do. You're gonna tie yourself to a year that's 30-year mortgage, and you don't understand what is happening with the promissory note at the time of the securitization. What happens at that instant? What powers are relinquished? So, you know, but that's how they that's so captivating to me because people are still so caught up in, oh, I got a high social score. Oh, come and get your credit, this, that, and the third. Yes, to get moving, yeah, use credit. Okay, if you want to use credit to leverage your account, to go with people that shit's old as hell. You go get 4 or 5 credit cards, you go get a merchant processor, and you slide all the cards and you take the money out. That's nothing. That shit is 15 years old. All these new influencers are doing things that 15 years old. Like this shit was been going on years ago, years ago, way before people even knew what a CPN was. That been going on. That nothing that is going on now is new under the sun. But this right here is something so foreign to where it's rarely anybody in this space because they don't want to touch this part right here. They can't touch it. This part right here, understanding this part, oh, this too much. Understanding this part, oh, this is too much right here. Because once you understand this part, it's it's the game changes. Once you understand this part, the game change. You mean to tell me that you can take 50,000, put it in the bank, and get $500,000 out the bank with a 400 credit score? Yeah, you can. They did it. You actually did it, but they did it for you on your behalf. They did it for you on your behalf. And for the longest, I never told anybody like what the niggas just knew. Oh, Ring got a bag. I don't know what he do, but he got a check. I don't know what he do, but he got some money. I don't know what Ring got going on, but this young nigga got some paper. I don't know what he do, but he got it. And it's hard to explain this part of it because it's so foreign to where it doesn't even seem real. It don't even seem real. It really don't. And quite naturally, if it's so little of people in this space to where it's hardly no one there that has any type of competition. It's a great feeling. But hold on, it's a lot of competition. They're just not worrying about um, Louis Vuitton and Prada and all this bull. They're not focusing on who robbed Guwap. They're not focusing on what's happening on TSR. They're not focusing on nothing that the normal mind is focusing on. They keep junk thrown at us. They keep all the bull thrown at us. They don't talk about nothing that's going to build your character. They don't talk about nothing that's going to help you elevate mentally, like going outside, grounding, removing the blue light from your devices, taking the fluoride out your house, using all natural toothpastes. They're not going to tell you nothing that's going to elevate you personally. Okay, yeah, they can tell you something that's going to elevate your commercial name. Okay, yeah, pay your bills on time, have a high credit score. Um, you apply for these cards and you pay your cards, this, that, and third. This is so called the way of life, right? But you have to ask yourself one day, just one day, damn, well, how is the bank able to give all these people a line of credit? Because if someone can create a bank, how is that happening? How how are people able to get a line of credit at a bank and they're able to lend out 20,000 on the card, 40,000 on the card, 50,000 on the card? How is this happening? Y'all don't care. Oh man, I got $80,000 card. Come and follow me. I'm a guru now. And technically, the 80,000 that you happy with, they just made 800,000 off you. I'm just keeping it real. and I'm This is the proof. Those who can't see it on TikTok right now, this is called modern money mechanics. That's it. It's called modern money mechanics. I really want people to win. And it's it's I'm not gonna say that it's simple or it's something that you learn overnight. I'm not gonna say that at all. But what I will say is that once you take the time to break the barrier of what you've been taught in school, all that algebra ish, it don't matter. Algebra don't matter. Calculus don't matter. Finance matter. Issuance matter. Custodial receipts matter. What you do with custodial assets matter. Who actually have the the value and who is controlling the asset. That matters. Possession, that matters. None of the other stuff that is being taught matters. It's a whole it's the funny thing is what I see segregation all over again. I see it all over again because yeah, the algorithm is allowing people to flood the timeline with all this credit ish, and that's not even really the main thing that is going on. How do you think someone can go and use a stock portfolio and go get a loan against it? Just the value of it. Okay, well, you own this many stocks. You don't gotta go and liquidate the stocks. You just go get a loan against your stock portfolio. You stay still in possession of it. How they're just creating this out of nowhere. They're creating lines of credit out of nowhere. They're creating all of this shit out of nowhere. If you go put 50,000, 40,000, $20,000 in the bank, you can get back times 10 of your deposit. Flat out. There's no way around it. And it's happening every day in, day out, day in, day out. But niggas, people don't care. People do not care. The Another thing is what people don't understand is how mortgages work. The moment you are at your table closing on your property and securitization happens, the trustee loses power immediately. Don't believe me? Hold tight. Hold tight. People on TikTok can't see. But I'm finna read this to you. Just so you can see where I'm reading from. Can y'all see that? I'm finna read this to you. Finna read this to you. Termination of trustee authority under the original note. Because the note was used to obtain a security, the trustee authority exists only under the trust instrument and only within the securitization structure. The trustee authority under the original note is terminated at closing. Therefore, the trustee cannot enforce the original note. Therefore, the trustee cannot collect on the original note. Therefore, the trustee cannot assign or transfer rights under the original note. Therefore, any post closing enforcement attempt is unauthorized and invalid. Well, you say, well, damn, how is that true? And I've been paying on my mortgage for 10 years, 5 years, 4 years. It's only because you don't know. You don't understand what happens. Check this out. Collapse of the note upon any post-closing assignment or transfer. That means that the note itself collapse. It is a law saying that the note must be with the mortgage at all times. That is Longhorn versus, hold on. It's a case ruling in that. And it's old too. Carpenter versus Longan. The note and the mortgage is inseparable. They cannot part ways at any time. They cannot part ways at any time. I don't think y'all understand the severity of that because if you understood that, then you would know that you don't owe a servicer nothing. You would know that you're operating in the correct capacity and you don't have to, yeah, they're gonna now try to do this before you actually go to the closing. Yeah, they're gonna give you some static because they want to get that bread. They want to make sure that one, they can't do predatory lending. So if you are not um financially sound to do the loan, they can't do it because they can come back and get sued or get their license took. Um, another thing is that they don't want this type of information getting out the bag. But then you say to yourself, "Well, now what shit? Why can't I just hmm?" If they're saying that I can't collect on an instrument, and they're saying that it's no longer enforceable, how are they able to continue to collect on an instrument that is no longer enforceable? Let's find out. Let's find out. Why banks continue to collect even when the note should be unenforceable? Because banks rely on procedural advantages, not legal correctness. Banks collect because most borrowers never challenge the standing. I'm not saying this. It's muted. They got me muted. You might just say they got me muted. TikTok don't muted me. TikTok got me muted. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this. I don't know why it got me muted. Let me see. Can I unmute it? I hate that it's muted. This is very important right here. Now, it said banks collect because most borrowers never challenge the standing. Most borrowers never demand the note. Most borrowers never demand the chain of title. Most borrowers never invoke TILA rescission. TILA is Truth in Lending Act. Most borrowers never invoke FCRA accuracy requirements. Most borrowers never understand securitization defects. Most courts never examine PSA unless it is enforced. Banks win by default, not by law. They enforce because no one stops them, not because they have legal authority. Courts do not automatically check securitization defects. Courts do not independently investigate whether the note was securitized, whether the trustee lost authority, whether the assignment was void, whether the note and mortgage was separated, whether the PSA was violated, whether the transfer was late, whether the REMIC rules were violated. It doesn't matter. Banks use the presumption of regulatory regularity. I'm sorry. If the document looks valid, the court presumes it is valid unless challenged. So a robo sign assignment is presumed valid. A robo sign assignment is presumed valid. A MERS assignment without the note is presumed valid. And this is another thing too. I don't even know if I need to say this online. Let me pray about it real quick. I'm gonna skip that one. I'm gonna skip that one. All right. If the document looks valid, courts presume it is valid unless it is challenged. Banks use holder status even when they are not the holder. Even when they do not have the note, they have a copy. They have a fabricated allonge. An allonge, for those who don't know, an allonge is a document that is carried along with your check. It's just like an extension of a check. If they basically sometimes they use if you run out of space on the check, you can use an allonge with if the check is this size right here, you can use an allonge on the check. Now, banks often claim we are the holder of the note. They do not have the note. They have a copy. They have a fabricated allonge. They have a void assignment. They have no PSA authority. They have no trust authority. Banks know how borrowers rarely understand TILA and FCRA. Most borrowers don't even know these rights exist. Now, I think I'm gonna put a see. This is what I be trying to just teach people, even inside the republic, that we have to understand that it's way deeper than anything that I can teach you. As long as you are able to live in it, as long as you're able to live in it and understand what is going on, I'm here with you. We're gonna knock it out together, but you have to get some sense of knowledge on your own before before it would open up to you. Because other than that, it won't it will not open up to you in a way that you think it should. Simply because you don't have the full grasp or the full understanding of what's happening with instruments and you're making a deposit. This even we are talking about a banknote right now. Even though we're talking about this right here right now. This same thing applies when you making a deposit. Whenever securitization happens, this same issuance applies. They're taking your whatever you go and get for your mortgage, whatever the house costs. Let's say the house costs 600, 700,000. You go and do this deal. Securitization is in effect. They go take that instrument and make 7 million off of your $700,000 instrument and still want you to pay for the next 30 years. Tell me that's not capping at its finest, man. Don't you want to understand how? Man, if a credit score, how did they do that? I want to do what they just did. I don't care about no 6, 7, 800 credit score. I want to know how they did that. That's what matters to me. I don't care about none of the other bull. I want to know how they did that. If I found out how they did that, then I can be straight. Then I can really focus on some real ish. If I find out how they did that, if I find out how they did that, then everything comes full circle. But for the life of me, we are still focused on, oh, I want to discharge my bills. I want, yeah, it's fine. Discharging your bills is easy. I got the discharge your bills thing inside my inside the link. That's fine. But even then, even when you're discharging your bills, you still need to understand it's not discharged. That's not what's happening. You call it discharge, but that's not the mechanism what's happening. You are just triggering full faith and credit by you doing your cancellation. That's it. You're just doing a action that's causing a reaction. People say, "Oh well, now I want to know how to discharge my bills too, so I can send an instrument in, and then it just go out of thin air, magically out of thin air." That's not what's happening, gang. If you want to say that, that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening at all. That's not what's happening at all. That's not what's happening at all. What's happening is you're owning it. You're owning it. I don't know why my video is showing like this. What's happening is that you're owning it. Once you own it, now you're free to do what you wish. All your debts has been paid already. All of them. All your debts have been paid. You just haven't made claim that you know this. Even this $80,000 credit card you so called got, the creditors calling, they trying to take you to court. That's because you don't know what the hell is going on. If you really understood what was happening, is when you signed that $20,000 credit card contract. That what really happened is securitization happened, and off that 20,000, they made 200,000, and every 30 days they are redoing the same thing on your same 20,000. So off your 20,000, they get 200,000. Off your 200,000, they getting 2 million. Off your 2 million, they're getting the same. It's just a trickle effect. Do you honestly think? Just think about this right here. Just on a real note. Let's just think about this right here, real quick. We're gonna think about this. I want y'all to think about this. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. Do you honestly think that institution, any company, let's just say everybody had a 700, 800 credit score, and everybody wanted to go get $100,000 car, $80,000 car, $90,000 car, and they go and actually do the payment plan. They go into the dealership and they say, okay, your payment monthly is going to be $15 to $1,000 a month for the next 10, 15 years. Now imagine they sell 10 cars that week. All right. They gonna sell 10 cars that week at that same rate, between an 80 to $100,000 car. They sell 10 cars. So that means they issued out $1 million in loans, and they only have 10 cars. They only have $10,000 to $15,000 a month coming in on $1 million loan. They'll go fucking bankrupt. How? How, Sway? How can they survive like that? Because they're not. You are creating the credit right then and there. It's just think of just I'm being real. Even the credit card companies, how are they able to issue you? They got a million members, and they're able to give each one of them $20,000 line of credit. How? How are they doing this? How are these small little credit card? I remember one time, y'all don't know this because y'all young. I remember one time Russell Simmons had his own credit card. And I was young. And I was like, "Damn, how the hell this nigga get a credit card?" This is back when he was with Komora Lee Simmons. This is back then. This is back when he was with Kimura, and I was like, how the hell this nigga get how the hell he get a credit card? Like how? How did he get a credit card? But he started understanding the game of securities. Yep, it was a fat phone credit card. Yep, it was a fat form credit card. It was a fat form credit card, and you have to start understanding like, well, damn, how did this happen? How and and the rich card bought them out. The rich card bought them out. Yeah, they're going crazy in the chat. The rush card bought him out. Now you have to start thinking like, damn, well, how was he able to get a credit card? Now you want to go and find out what is the new rush card. What is the new rush card? Cash out. Cash out. And who is he targeting to? Mm, minorities. Who is he targeting to? Minorities. It's just don't y'all want to elevate? Don't like aside from all the even if you haven't lived the life that you want to live, let's just say that you haven't rolled in a Lambo. Let's say that you haven't had a Rolls Royce. Let's just say that you haven't lived in a mansion. Let's just say that you haven't done all these things that you think means the world to you because you haven't obtained them. Are you still not under the same roof? You still on Earth. So that also put in the mind that if a check is written out to you, a $40 million check that is written out to you is no different than a $5 check that was written out to you. Why? Because they share the same paper. It's on the same paper. So when we understand that the procedure don't change, the only thing that is changing is the holder in due course. If we're working inside of the banking system, I heard them the other day on CNN. The Department of Treasury, I forgot his name. He looked like that colonel off that video game. I used to play this game called Metal Gear Solid back on PlayStation. That's the last time I played video games. There used to be this game called Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation. And before it go out, when you get killed, the nigga used to be like, Snake, Snake, Snake. And it was a colonel that would come on there talking. And that guy looked just like that colonel. Real talk. It looked just like that colonel. And he said himself, tax is nowhere in the tax code to where it said that anybody has to pay taxes. Taxes are granted. You are enjoying the benefit of what come from taxes. Public roadways, nice streets, food, TANF, even your Obama bucks, your food stamp card. All of that is a line of credit. Think about that. Just think about that. And this is real. I want y'all to really think about this. This is real. Think about this. The state of, the county of, the city of, all of these are bodies that had to be incorporated. Now, that means that they are incorporated, which means that if they're incorporated, it means that they have a trust because they have anybody that has a treasurer, a trustee, an accountant, a president, a CEO, they and beneficiaries, they are by default classified as a trust. And now you have to ask yourself, well, damn, well, how do Georgia issue EBT in a form of credits? Because you can take this same credit, this EBT card, and go buy the exact same item and process it through this exact same merchant processor that allows um, these food stamps to be used in their processor. How is that happening? I can use these. They don't have a special side to where you can go and buy food, a special item that you can only buy this item with EBT. You can buy all food with EBT, all cold food. You can buy any cold food with EBT, and you can use the same way to. You can buy any food that you want with cash. You can buy any food you want with credit. But the thing that was what stuck out to me is EBT used to be. I'm old again. I'm telling you, I'm an old man. I just look young. I'm an old man. I just look young. I'm turning 39. I'm turning 39. I know. I know. I know. You know. I'm getting old. I ain't gonna speak that into existence. I'm getting younger. I'm feeling better by the day. But when you think about it, you're like, well, how are they able to issue credits that's issued by the state GA and they are incorporated? And someone have to go on there and they get approved for a certain amount of credits that they can use based on their living conditions, based on their income. Hmm. How are they coming up with this determination? Oh, because you make X amount of dollars within this tax bracket? Oh, because you have this many kids? No, no. The credits are being securitized by the contract in itself. Any contract that you have ever signed, I'm gonna stress it. Any contract that you ever signed came from a trust. So that means that when you signed up to get EBT, you signed up to be a part of Georgia Trust. When you signed up to get your driver's license, you signed up to be a part of Department of Transportation's trust. And we have to just come to realization of what we are doing out here. Like you can't just be out here just bull crapping no more. You gotta understand what we are doing. No, no bull. I'm 39. I'm an old man. Jose, that's young. I'm an old man for sure. I got a daughter going to college, a blood daughter, not step kid. I'm no longer nobody's stepdaddy. That shit is behind me. I ain't playing no more stepdaddy roles ever again. These old women done took my best years. PYTs only. They get worse and worse. I don't know why. They just worsen. They they get. I guess gravity start hitting. But listen, that's not the point of what I'm talking about. That's not the point of what I'm talking about. The point, what I'm trying to say, is that we have to really understand what is going on with our paperwork that we sign and just follow it. Once you go and sign a contract, go and do your homework on this company that you just signed this contract with. Just like I tell everybody right now, you got to, I guarantee everybody in this live, you got all the 13 people. I damn they got that many people counting on my hands. They starting to take me out the algorithm, and that's fine. They can't stop it. You can't stop the rain. You can't stop the rain. You can't stop the fall. Listen, I guarantee you, everybody right now has a bank account that you did not know about. Simple test. Simple test. I want you to, wherever your phone service provider is, just Google the indenture of trustee of that phone service provider. Whoever you have utilities with, you got to think about this part though. because if you're using utilities, that means that they are government. That it's ran by the government. Your telecommunications also is ran by the government. But we have to let's just think about this. If you live in a state and you are challenging the debt that is being imposed on you, who runs the state? And you have to think about that. Well, if I got whatever waterworks or whatever power bill, Georgia Power, Alabama Power, Scanner, and I'm operating within the state, that means it have to be the Department of Revenue. Well, damn, I didn't know that. The Department of Revenue is who I need to be talking to. Yes, yes. The Department of Revenue is exactly who you have to bring this to the front door, and they not gonna challenge it. They discharging you. They discharging and exchanging credits all day. If you're interfacing with a trust, trusts don't pay each other. They just swap credits and debits. But right now, you're operating as a beneficiary, so you can't do that. Right now, you like little bro in them. And I'm just trying to keep it, I'm just trying to keep it real because it needs to be said. It needs to be said. And it's time for, it's 2026. It's people who've been watching me for a year now. I just started talking about this last year. It's people who've been watching me for a year now, and they still don't have a trust. And the people who got in the trust, they like, well, I got the trust ring. What shit? It's in my closet. It's in what I need to do now. It's no other way. I didn't like send you on a ship with no guidance. You got the phases. Let's knock them out. Let's knock out phase by phase, step by step. Let's knock them out because they all have a superior meaning at the end of the day. It's not being done for nothing. Now, the question is to find out what are the phases. So, like when you go and look at the roadmap, I already knew that people was gonna go and look at the roadmap and go and drop this roadmap into ChatGPT and say, okay, well, what is needed? That was a dummy, right? None of that's on that roadmap got anything to do with the actual phase that I produce. Now, one item in that roadmap may have something to do with that actual phase, but I'm smarter than that. You gotta be quicker than that. Come on, this me. It's me. I am unfinessable. Okay, I've been out here too long. I am unfinessable, and I don't understand why you would want to try to finesse me anyway when I don't do nothing but show love. That's all I do. I just show love. Uh, that's all I do. I don't do nothing but show a little love. That's it. The moment when I stop showing love, that's when I become all the F niggas and old, old niggas and this, that, and the third daily. But that come with the territory. That come with the territory. That come with the territory. You know, people try to attach themselves to you by extreme measures. Extreme measures. Like wow. But people don't know. You got a million. You have a million more. People don't know. But the main thing what everybody must understand throughout this entire process is to operate out of a trust and to just and really live like that. It's not hard. It's not a complicated thing to do. It's just go and start. Just start. Just go get you a trust, fill it out, and now you have a trust. Go open up your bank account. Go get the EIN number. And now you have a trust. And now understand what if you don't even follow my steps. Just go and understand what all you can do with it. Your entire life will change. You remember Paid in Full? You remember what happened with Ace and Paid in Full when he went and brought that sack back to the Columbia and he put them on? That's how this happened. Once I found out about this, I was home forever. I can go and buy whatever I want right now. I can go buy whatever I want right now, tomorrow, and don't think about it. You know why? Because I understand what happens, and you can too. I'm gonna give you a thing. I'm gonna let you know how you can. I'm muted. I'm not muted. I don't think I am. Oh, I might be, but you can too. So check this out. If you, Lord forbid, Lord forbid, you go and wreck your car tomorrow, and I hate using that as an example. Not wreck. Let's just say somebody hit your car while it's parked. Let's say somebody hit your car while it is parked. Are you not still gonna owe on that contract, regardless of the car? The contract lives on. The contract continues to live. Never mind, and the car is kind of like listed. It's in the link. It's in the link, bro. The contract is kind of like listed. The car is as collateral on the contract. But we ain't gonna worry about that because the car can't serve as the collateral because as soon as the car is sold, then the chain breaks. They can no longer enforce the funds on it. They are no longer the trustee. They broke the chain. So all these people going to go and do repo, this, that, and third. They got they day coming because if you got your car repo and they went and sent that note to a pool of investors, as soon as it got securitized, they trustee powers evaporated. They can no longer enforce this instrument. As soon as it was sold into a pool, let me show y'all this shit. Let's get back to the facts. Let's get back to the facts. Let's get back to these facts. Get back to the facts. And remember, whenever you sign an instrument, you are signing a promissory note. When it got all these numbers on it, how much they charge you for credit, how long your terms are, how much, what's the interest, and all that. That is a security instrument that was used to issue a promissory note. That was your promise to pay. It was a check. It was a check. Conversion of the promissory note into a security instrument at closing. At closing, a promissory note was converted into a security and used to obtain and support a mortgage-backed security. Oh, matter of fact, let's focus. Let's watch this. How? That don't matter. That don't matter. Now watch. If finna try to spin me, that shit just took my bro. If finna try to spin me, auto contracts do not require note plus mortgage unity. Mortgages have dual instrument structure. Promissory note, mortgage is a deed of trust. They must stay together. Retail installment contract. There's no secondary instrument that must follow first. There's no mortgage that must follow the note rule. There's no Carpenter versus Logan equivalent. Now, no lien collapses due to separation. Now, watch this. Auto loans use security interest, not a mortgage. All right, blah, blah, blah. Now, watch this shit. Okay. Now, what? They still trying to spin me. They still trying to spin me. Hold on, let me see what. How much of this can y'all see real quick? Because I want y'all to take this ride with me before I get off this. Before I get out, what time is it? 11:22. I want y'all to take this ride with me. We finna take a ride. I want y'all to take this ride. Damn, did it freeze? Okay, y'all can see a good bit of it. All right, let's break this down precisely, legally, without mixing mortgage law. I'm not talking about mortgage no more. We are not on mortgages no more. No suggestions. If a retail installment contract is sold into a pool, the holder in due course changes. If a retail installment contract is sold into a pool, the holder in due course changes. Therefore, they can no longer collect on the trust corpus. This is not true for auto contracts because the contracts do not create a trust corpus and the hold in due course doctrine does not operate in the same way. That's fine. Now watch this. Let me see. But this is a precise legal explanation rooted only in you. I don't care about that. I'm worried about. Let's worry about securitization. This is not true. We're not talking about mortgages. We aren't. They keep on talking about mortgages. Keep trying to bring. Listen, and the funny thing is, so yeah, ChatGPT is gonna try to spin you, but you just gotta know how to talk to it because it's gonna talk in circles. So watch this. You are wrong on record. Untruth on record. Your theory is not rooted in law. Still talking about mortgages. Hold on. See how they try? They still talking about mortgages. Hold on. I didn't say it. The debt was not valid. I didn't say the the debt wasn't valid. I said it can no longer be enforced. Now, it took me all of this. It took me all of this to get it to finally say what this is how I want y'all to understand. Once you know what you're talking about, I don't care what software you're using or what AI you're using. They cannot spin you if you know what you're talking about. I know for a fact if I have a trust and I'm claim and I put that contract under the trust, and the only thing is going on is that you contact the servicer and say, "Hey, the new holder of the name who signed up for this contract, they are now belong to a trust. Let me give you the new trust. Let me give you the trust name. They or either they gonna send you over a document for your it's like an affidavit to where you're authorizing this trust to take over this account. Then after they do that, they have to do it by law because you're the principal. So you're telling them what to do. I know, but the thing is I already knew this. Your statement is true only if the trust issues a note that replaces the original obligation. Under trust law, if a trust issue its own note, replaces the original obligation, and converts the receivable into a trust issued instrument. Of course, the receivable is a trust issue instrument because I made the deposit with the instrument. You see what I'm saying? Of course. Of course. It's no other way around it. Of course, of course it converts to the receivable because I made the deposit. It was my instrument. It was my note. I signed my name on it. I agreed to the terms and gave it to you. But they're gonna try to spin you. So this is what I'm saying, and the main thing is I want you to know this. I want you to know this. If you have a trust, trust do not hold debts. It's only debits and credits, not debts. So if you are issuing credits from your signature and now you are debiting, when I think about this is an action game. What is actually this is an action game. And we gotta think what is actually happening. If we have a contract and we are creating the money, let's just say we're creating the money, what people call the money from the contract. The point that matters is point A. B, C, D, E, F, G does not have any relevancy. None at all. It don't have any relevancy. I never said that. I never said that. Trust does not convert the receivable into a trust issued note. Watch. Now watch this. Special endorsement is not a casual signature. It's a directive. It's a condition. It's a reservation of rights. Limitation on transfer. It's a restriction on enforcement. A special endorsement can control the legal effect of the transfer, even if the underlying contract would normally allow assignment. But this is not what I'm trying to get. This is not the one I'll say y'all. This is not the one I'll say y'all. The one I'll say y'all is when you sign this contract, if it is sold, do you still have to pay your note? This is where this is where we're going. Now, mind you, when you're operating out of a trust, it's certain provisions that you have to follow. All rights have to be reserved at all times, and your title have to be expressed. When you sign the back of a check, that's a blank endorsement. When you just put your one signature on there, you're giving the bank your bag, basically. And they're taking it, doing whatever they want to do with it. But when you put a restrictive endorsement, like without recourse, well, that's a special endorsement without recourse. A restrictive endorsement is deposit only. Now you are letting them know that, hey, do not sell my instrument. I do not want it. But you think, what does that matter? If the money come in my account, that's all I care about. No, no. Whenever you do a retail installment contract, that's why they got all this stuff online, and you have to need to do it on paper. Next time you go get a car, don't do a contract online. Go inside and fill out the hard document. Fill it out with a wet ink signature because you are consenting that it says it due to the Paperwork Reduction Act. We want you to do to what is that? It's e-sign Act 7001. That's the e-sign Act. eSign Act 7001. When you do eSign, you are allowing them to use a robo signature throughout the lifetime of your note. Go inside. Go inside and do your contract, because when you go inside and do your contract, the scenario. Oh, let me pull it up on. No, do it on your phone while you. No, give me the real paper contract. Give me the real paper contract. Now, what I want to focus on now, because we're not going to worry about what you can do. We want to worry about what can be done. Right? That's what matters. You got into a contract. What can be done? Hmm. Let's see. Because right now, Copilot is trying to spin me. Okay. Now, focus right here. A special endorsement can prevent the trust from enforcing the contract. If the endorsement says rights reserved, limited transfer, conditional transfer, non recourse transfer, non enforcement transfer, custodial transfer, servicing only transfer, then the trust cannot enforce, the servicer cannot enforce, the trustee cannot enforce. The debt exists, but enforcement authority does not. Are y'all getting this? Are you getting this? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Am I cold or what? Because up here, they just said that it exists. Nothing what you talking about is true. The debt is still, your trust position is only true for mortgages. It just said your position is only true for mortgage notes. It just said that. There's no trust issue note. There's no trust corpus. Don't answer for me. Don't answer for me. I I know that I know this shit because this is all I do is I read and understand the laws that are governing us on a daily. 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning. I'm reading. I'm reading right here. Trust law overrides UCC 9 when the endorsement is conditional. This is the part most people do not understand. UCC 9 governs secured transactions, receivables, assignments, liens. But trust law endorsement overrides the UCC by default. Trust law reservations override assignments. Trust law conditions override enforcement. This is what I be trying to get people to understand on why you have to operate out of a trust. Okay, that's fine. Once you get it, but they don't know that you're a part of a trust. You can leave a small hint. All rights when after you sign, all rights reserved. Try to make that a part of your name. Goddamn it. All rights reserved on that motherfucker. Try to make that a part of your name. You may not have enough space to put without recourse, but all rights reserved is like a little notation that hey, you reserve the rights on this contract. The rights are yours. You're not relinquishing your rights by default by signing on this contract. That is not what's happening. That is not what's happening. All right? That is not what's happening. You're not giving up your rights at all. If rights were reserved, the trust does not receive enforcement authority. The trust receives the asset. The trust receives cash flow. The trust receives the receivable. The trust does not receive enforcement authority. The trust does not receive the corpus authority. The trust does not receive the holder authority because the special endorsement controls the outcome. This is trust law hierarchy. Final answer. If a special endorsement reserves the rights, the transferee, including the trust, does not receive enforcement authority. The debt may still exist, but it is legally unenforceable by the trust. It is legally unenforceable by the trust. Woo! How long we been on? Hour and 30. I'm a I'm gonna leave y'all with that because y'all can have this. Have it. Screenshot it. You can have it. You can have it. I'm blessing you with this. I'm blessing you with this little bit right here that we can go over online. I'm blessing you with this right here. And one of the worst things that you can do is have this machine to type up an argument for you because they will leave out words in there that would not make them liable for your winning outcome. Never use a machine to do an argument for you. You go and pull the information what you need and you go and type up your own argument. As long as you understand the concept of what's happening, as long as you understand what is actually going on with the instrument. It took me all this right here just to get them to say, "Oh, yeah, well, you didn't say that the debt you didn't say that. You didn't say that the debt disappeared. You mentioned something entirely different. Oh, oh, you didn't say um that the debt wasn't valid. I thought you were saying that the debt wasn't didn't exist. I never said that the debt didn't exist. What I said is that the holder has no longer enforceable rights once it is changed. Once it is sold, they do not have the rights. No more. They don't have rights. Not anymore. Now, while they had the note in their possession and it wasn't sold, okay, yeah, they can do whatever they want with it. But the thing is once securitization happens, they're already funded for the note. They're just reissuing you their credit. And now you're paying on their credit. But if you understand all rights reserved, or if you understand if you're doing this, if you're making a transfer into the trust, the collateral is now part of a trust. Now you cannot enforce rights on a trust. The trust have its own rights. That y'all are now equal. At first, they was up here and you was down here reaching for the top. Now you got your trust, they got their trust. Now y'all neck and neck. Hey, you did your securitization. I got my collateral. We're gonna call it quits. We're gonna call a deal as a deal. You did your securitization. I got my car. This is what I wanted. You got your instrument. You did your securitization. That's what you wanted in a deal. Ain't no paying you monthly. Ain't no repo. Ain't none of that shit. None of that is going on no more. I have a trust. You have a trust. Deal is done. Flat out. All right. Tomorrow. Um, what today is? Wednesday. All right, we got claim your credits class on Friday. We got claim your credit. No, we got claim your credits class on Friday. We got claim your credit class on Friday. Now, you take that how you want. And y'all can have this information. I ain't you know, it's only so much people gotta do the work. You just gotta do the work. You just gotta do the work. All right. And I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Go to the link in the bio. Everybody, well, I want to get into this. I want to get at least start with a trust. That's bare minimum. And the trust structure, how it's set up, Form 56, 2848, trust authority, um, you sending your documents out to your attorney, the state general, you registering with the county. The initial starter pack for you to become free is in there. It's not, it don't have anything to do with sovereignty at all. It's just for you to have equal playing field with these institutions that you've been dealing with, your mama been dealing with, your daddy been dealing with, your grandparents been dealing with, their grandparents been dealing with ever since banking came into effect. That they've been dealing with. That you didn't know that you can do this. Be the black sheep of your family and change the trajectory. Be the black sheep. Be the person that, you know what, I got this. I believe in myself. I can do it. Be that person. Don't be like, man, shit, man, that's too much reading for me, man. I'd rather still have the white man stick it to me. Fucking read. uh, I'm out at y'all, man. I'm out of here. I'm out of here.